What's going on, guys? Welcome back. So the Nissan Hardbody is moving along. I can just see the finish line. It's getting there. I'm really excited. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get to the metal supply houses this weekend because they were closed, but come Monday or Tuesday, I'll hit them up in the evening and get all the little things I need. You might recall from my community post that I'm installing the WRX rack and pinion, as well as offsetting the factory sway bar forward and creating a new landing since the coilover structure is in the way. But, quick work of that should be good. Want to make sure it's safe. It is your steering. You only get one shot at that. If that goes bad, well, you better just cross your fingers and pray to God, because you're not going to recover from that. I should have everything for the 4-link suspension and the rear coilover conversion here this week. Other than that, I'm going to keep the same pace with the truck. It should be pretty quick as far as getting the cab back on the truck, get everything wired up, and the normal engine swap stuff, so you guys know. But I kind of did a thing. What? Alright, so here she is. It's a 2002 Subaru Forester S trim. Honestly, it looks pretty darn good. I can't complain. My friend Rick Dominguez gave this to me for free. So yeah, there's definitely no room to complain at all. I think it's pretty sweet. It would have been a shame to see this thing go to the junkyard. He was actually parting this thing out for a couple months and then decided he didn't want to put the time or money into it and everything else. So he's just like, I'm gonna get rid of this thing. I was like, no, dude, don't do that. I'll take it. I'll bring it back to life. So this is actually what it looked like before the accident. So that's the goal right there. Trying to get it back to that aspen white and graystone metallic two-tone paint job. I think that looks really, really good. So the only thing that seems to be wrong with it is that it has really bad core support damage. It was a really high hit. However, it didn't bend anything else. I checked behind this fender. It looks really good. Over here is good. He says it runs and drives just fine, doesn't have an exhaust. So I went to the junkyard. I was able to score a nice white hood, an exhaust. We got a core support. We also have a new condenser. And then a buddy of mine owns a radiator shop, so he went ahead and put a new top on this unit that I got from the junkyard. Went and picked up a battery and a few other things to get it running. So that's the goal for tonight. Get this thing running and driving, and pull it out into the driveway, clean it off, start going through the interior, taking inventory of what else I need. I was able to get all of the side paneling at the junkyard, as well as the rear bumper and the front bumper, but check this thing out. It looks pretty sweet. Interior is pretty clean. Need to find a white door, but here, come around here. Not too bad. It's missing carpet and a few other interior bits, but overall, clean car. So the plans for this thing are to make a nice budget drift car build. I'll get into that later though, because I really want to start tearing this thing apart and getting it fixed and running. So let's get into it. Cool deal. I think I got to a pretty good stopping point tonight. This next part's a little bit tedious, so I have to come in here and drill out all the spot welds, remove these 2 caps, and then come down here, remove this side, remove that side, because all I'm really using from this core support is just the upper radiator support and the hood latch assembly support. So yeah, if I'm really tired and I try to do it, I know I'm just going to screw up the holes, and I want it to, when I'm drilling these things out, I like there to be material, a little bit of material underneath, so I can re-weld to it without having to use my copper spoon and stuff. So, you know, just makes it a little bit easier. But I'm pretty happy with the results so far. I don't have any professional like puller equipment like a body shop would, but the results are okay. You know, nothing to write home about. But I think when I remove this upper little piece, it's going to lose a lot of its structural stability, and it's going to allow me to manipulate it a lot easier, versus right now I can't really twist it in the way I want because I'm fighting this piece. But once this is off, well, then I can kind of do what I want. So anyway, so I'm going to leave that for tomorrow, but I think it turned out okay. Alright guys, so I just started welding this thing up. I'm having some issues with my GoPro Hero 8 Black. It's overheating, I'm losing footage, or it's just not even recording at all. So I'm going to have to either send it back in or upgrade to the new one. Kind of bummed about that, but it is what it is. So this is the first plug weld I did right here. You can see it's nice and flat. So an old trick I learned was to go and get yourself a short piece of copper tubing. It's like $2 from Home Depot. You cut it with a pipe cutter to the desired length, hammer it flat, use your vice grips or holders, clamps, whatever, to hold it in place. And it does 2 things. It allows you to ground to it. It also allows you to get really good penetration without blowing holes in everything, because there's a thicker piece of copper underneath it at that point. So it helps dissipate the heat and also keeps the panel from warping. So you get nice flat welds like this, and you're not putting too much heat into the panel and warping it and going all crazy. So just a neat little trick. As far as the rest of the core support goes, I was quite happy with this side over here. I just need to kind of line this stuff up and go ahead and weld all that together. But this actually lines up really well. But on this side, this panel that came up here originally was just too far gone. I didn't even want to attempt to fix that. So I went ahead and chopped it down a little bit lower. I'm going to have to butt weld this together, but it shouldn't be too bad. I have some special tools that can hold sheet metal in place so I can butt weld it, and then I can slowly work from this side to this side. So I'll probably tack this side, get the metal in place, tack it, and work my way all the way across until it's nice and straight. But anyway, just a little update. And I don't know if I'm going to have any more time-lapse footage. Hopefully I can get the GoPro to work. We'll see. So I'm going to get to it. Alright dudes, so I got to level with you for a second. This is the first time that I have ever grafted a panel onto a car before. Like, I've literally never done something like this before. So people that are in the comments that are auto body experts and stuff like that, go easy on me. This is my first attempt. I'm not in any way saying that this is awesome work or whatever. I'm just saying that hopefully it gets the job done. So this is where the core support panel meets the original panel right here. Goes all the way across. And then the, well, you can't really see the seam, but it joined together right there. And same thing over here. So we have the part that goes all the way over here. And you can see this filler that I used because it's kind of like deformed right there from welding, and that panel was pretty ugly from before. This thing was just so jagged. I was having to literally take the vice grips and pinch it every step of the way to get it to weld together. It was kind of a nightmare, to be honest, but I think I did an okay job. I'm gonna pat myself on the back because I think I did a good job, regardless of what the pros think. But this is this side over here, and it's, let me see. It's pretty freaking solid, man. It's not moving, and I was able to get it perfectly level across, and instead of going off of just using a level, I matched it up to what this lower support down here is. So it measures exactly the same from this side to this side over here, and this measurement is the same distance from that hole to here as this is. So I think I got it pretty darn straight on there. I did get to use this tool today though, which is pretty cool. This is the 1/2-inch band file I picked up from Harbor Freight. It was only like 31 bucks or something, but it came in handy because I was able to flatten out some of the little tacks that were raised up above the surface. And I think it worked pretty darn good, man. I mean, for sub 40 bucks, that thing came in handy big time. So now I'm gonna go ahead and grab the etching primer, hit the bare metal spots, wait for that to kind of set up, and then I'll go ahead and hit it with a white base primer, and then I'll start doing the rest of this stuff. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. All right, so this is what I ended up with. I think it turned out really good. Everything bolted up, no problem. Didn't have any alignment issues with anything. Now I know the color doesn't match right now, that's fine. When I pull this engine and transmission out for the swap, I'm going to remove everything from the engine bay, do a nice primer, base coat, 2K clear, do it right to where it looks really, really nice. And then put everything back in and try to freshen all that stuff up. But for now, kind of getting us to a little bit of a foundation to work with, getting the car running and everything else, this is kind of the best I can come up with. This is my best Band-Aid, I guess you can call it, for right now. I need to install these radiator fans since mine were broken. I went and got this really cheap Y pipe at the junkyard, as well as the exhaust. So kind of just hobbling this thing together to get it running. I don't want to throw a whole lot of money at this engine transmission setup because it's an auto EJ251, and you know, for all intents and purposes for this build, it's kind of a trash setup. So all this stuff is getting yanked out, and I just really don't want to invest. But right now I need it running and driving. I did go to the junkyard and got some more stuff. I got a rear bumper, side moldings, the lower side skirts. I did buy a JDM grill, so I'm not sure if I'm going to even use this grill. I ordered the 98 Impreza front bumper, so I'm going to retrofit that to this front end. I've always been a really big fan of those bumpers, so we'll see how that goes. I think it'll be fairly easy. I went to the junkyard, found an Outback Sport that has the same bumper, kind of test fitted it. Looks like it's going to work just fine. It sticks out a little far in the wheel well, so I'll have to trim that down and figure out how to mount it on the sides, but overall it's the same general dimension, so it should look really neat. Other than that, let's see what else. I did get carpet, center console, a few of the other interior bits. So we're moving along. I still need a fender as well as a passenger rear door, but things are moving along. And that's kind of it. We're going to be converting this thing to rear wheel drive, getting all that stuff situated, all in future episodes. I'll go through all that stuff later. I'm actually going to wrap this video up here just because I need to get the suspension off and back to Rick today, and I don't want episode 1 and episode 2 having a weird lapse. So I'm just going to end this one here as the intro to this broken, now fixed Forester, and the next episode we'll start nice and fresh and go from there. So I'll catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.